Last year, I made a video called How to Release a Single in 2019. And I still think there's a lot of relevant information within that video, and you should probably go and check it out to wherever it's linked to on this page. But it's 2020, and a lot of major artists have changed and tweaked and updated their strategy for how they're putting out music and how they're releasing singles. So I feel like it's a really, really good time for us to talk about how to promote your music and how to promote your single in 2020. Now, rather than talking about the how you're going to get your music released and also the you got to work hard and you got to hustle, I wanted to go into absolute detail. What can you do every single day, including on day one, right the way through to the end of the single launch, in order to get as much traction as possible? After all, what is the point in having this voice on social media? What is the point in having an audience on social media if you are not using it, utilizing it, and actually being able to get them to do the things that you want them to do, which is listen to your music? After all, they follow you and they listen to your music. So we are just trying to utilize the powers that we have with social media and other marketing tips in order to get your music out there and heard. So this video might be slightly longer than usual, but I want this to be quite in-depth of what you can do every single day. And I want it to be a 20-day strategy. After all, it's 2020, so why not have 20-20-20? Now, I am putting the release date out halfway through. So I want there to be 10 days of lead up through to the release date of that single, and then 10 more days of promotion. And this is starting with day one, which is 10 days before your physical release. Now, it's up to you how you want to physically release and what streaming platform or how you want to put the single out. I'm leaving that up to you. So this isn't a technical how to get your music on something. This is about promotion. How are you going to lead everyone and excite everyone up to that point where your single goes live, and then what can you carry on doing for the next 10 days to make sure that you get as much traction as possible? Now, do you recognize this scenario? You spend so much time writing and recording the music to that point where you do all the artwork, and then you get that music out, and on that first day, all excitement is there, and you start telling all of your friends and your family. I've done this a million times. And then the same thing happened with my book. By the way, I wrote a book. So when I wrote the book, I wanted to make sure that I didn't put it out and then I ran out of ideas. So I needed to plan well in advance, including what I was going to do before and after the release day. Because what I didn't want to happen, which happens with many authors and also with most bands, is they get to the release date, they'll have one day of really, really pushing, maybe two, and all of a sudden they run out of ideas and they start thinking to themselves, I'm not really sure what to do next. And then you start thinking, well, I don't want to bug people. I don't want to keep telling people again and again, please can you buy this, or please can you listen to the single. So what you've got to do is you've got to find creative ways, and this has to be done in a strategy. So effectively, let's start how to promote a single in 2020. Now I am going to write everything down so we can see this within the video, so it's visual. We're going to start at the beginning, which is day one. Now I call this day one, however, this is actually 10 days before the release. And again, I'm not talking about at what point you need to put it onto Spotify or Deezer. I'm talking about the promotion. So day one for me, we are setting everything up. So what I think is really, really important here on day one is a photo shoot. Now let me tell you why. Now with this photo shoot, you are going to start by making some content that you can start to use in the lead up over the next 10 days and past it within one photo shoot. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take at least 10 photos. Now on each one of those photos in this photo shoot can be a band member, it can be you as an artist, it can be the entire band. But I want you to be holding a piece of card or a piece of paper with the date of the release. Now, you could do this in a few ways. You could either have just the date of the release. You could have a countdown, 10 days to go. It could have a hashtag if you want, which could say your band name with the word new in front of it. So imagine if you're the Foo Fighters and it said New Foos or Biffy Clyro, New Biffy. So you're starting a little hashtag, but effectively you are saying to your audience, by the way, something is happening in the next 10 days. And so people start to generate a little bit of interest. What is that? What's happening? You're not saying there is a new single. You are not giving out the artwork. You are not giving out the single name. You are just creating a little bit of mystery and a little bit of excitement whilst you're getting a bunch of other things sorted. But in that photo shoot, you're also giving yourself a lot of content. So over the next few days, you know what you're going to be posting every single day. 10 days to go, 9 days to go, 8 days to go, 7 days to go. Or it's just another really great picture with a date, which is enough, because every single day people will start seeing that picture and that date and start thinking, obviously something's coming. I don't know whether it's going to be a new video. I don't know whether it's going to be a new song or a new album, but at least in their head, they're being reminded every single day. Now, the other thing we're going to do on day one is we are going to set some targets. Now, setting the target is up to you, but let me give you a few ideas, because targets are absolutely crucial, because what you don't want to do is you want to go, I've put the single out. What do we do next? And then you start going, it's on everything. It's on Spotify, it's on Deezer, it's on iTunes, it's on Apple, it's on YouTube. Instead of giving people the real journey of what you want them to do, and I'm going to write that in, targets and journey. Now, the journey is not your journey, it is the journey of your audience. What is it that you want to do? Now, you're only going to be able to help them with this once you've actually decided what that target is. For example, are you pushing people towards YouTube? Are you pushing people towards Spotify? Are you pushing people to buy something which is physical? It's up to you what you want to do. Then after that, I want you to have an actual target. Are you going to try and sell 100 copies of a CD? Are you going to go and get 1,000 listens on Spotify? These are your targets depending on how big and experienced your band is. But what's really crucial is you're going into this campaign knowing, as a band or as an artist with your team, you know what you're fighting for. Every time someone asks you about it, you say, I need you to go to YouTube and watch the video, or I need you to go to Spotify and listen to it, or I need you to buy one of these physical things. That way, all of your marketing starts getting linked together, and everything that you're doing across each platform is linked to, this is the thing that I will need you guys to do. But in order to do that, again, you need to decide what that is, and also how many of those things are you going to try and sell or get done, as i.e. get listened or get views. So that's day one. So moving on to day two. Day two, excuse my childlike writing. We are going to do a thing called creating a visual world. Effectively, we're going to start taking the brand that you are creating around this song and start implementing it into everything from your social media and everything else that you're doing, so that it all combines into one. So by now you might have already done your artwork, you might have got a new font, you know what the single title is going to be called, you might have the actual colors, the brand, the artwork, the pictures all together. You might not, if not, today is the day. But what you are going to do is you're going to start implementing this into your social media. Now, you don't necessarily need to start changing these over, but I like to have this stuff ready and willing to go live at any moment. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say banners. Banners are absolutely key. So whatever socials you've got, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, whether it's Facebook, you have the banner across the top. Now, you don't necessarily need to change it at this point. You'll probably do it when you're releasing the artwork, or you put in the full artwork, which is in a couple of days' time, but we need to be ready. And you can start putting some ideas into your banners now, because you don't have to just change it once. You can change your banners many times over the next couple of weeks. So with your banners, what I would do is I would hint at something coming. In the font and the brand and the colors of what you're doing, I would put the date. So again, now we are 9 days. So I would have potentially the date in your banner, so when people are going there, they see the band name, they see a picture, but within that font and within that brand, within that creative world, they are now seeing the date of something coming. And you do that in Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, so whenever you're driving traffic there, people know to come back, because that is happening in 9 days from now. Then on top of that, I'm not going to write this down every single day, but on your Instagram, you are now you're now inputting your second picture, which should say either 9 days to go, or again, it says a different picture with a different date. So effectively, I'm not going to say this every single time, but you are now putting that into your strategy. Every single day, there is an Instagram picture which is going live that keeps pushing that momentum. But today is all about creating that brand. If you haven't done your artwork, today's the day. If you have, then that artwork now needs to be implemented across all of your social media. All right, day 3. Day 3. Now, the story so far. ... Ooh. Now, every time you're going to release something, you have to remember that a lot of people will just have found you, or someone might have actually recommended you to the friend. Now, when this happens, and you see this quite often with bands, they don't bring everyone up to speed. Yes, we've got new stuff coming out, that's fantastic, but who are you? Where have you come from? What do you stand for? What do you do? And so this is the perfect time to update everybody. Now, think of it like this. You're watching a Netflix and it's season 2 or season 3. What's the first thing that they do before you actually start watching that episode, that first episode? They bring you back into the world. What have you missed if you haven't seen season 1? Or what do we need to recap so you remember what's going on for this new season? Now, it's no different in the music industry. Yes, you might have gone away and come back again, or maybe you're continually releasing music, but lots of people are coming into that point of season 2 or coming into season 3. So why not give them that update? And this is the perfect time to do it. So what I want you to do is, I want you to look back through your Instagram, back through your Facebook, start finding video clips, start finding pictures, and start putting together the story so far. And it should basically say who we are, so that anyone new to the channel, anyone new to your social media starts to think, oh, okay, I'm caught up to speed. I know what's going on here. I like this. I'm now excited for what's about to happen on that day in 8 days' time. Now, you can do this in the form of a video. That's what I would do. I would make a video called The Story So Far, and I'd probably do it in a kind of documentary style, maybe a couple of interviews, maybe some pictures in there, maybe some old videos for some gigs. Maybe I'd have some of the guys in the band, if it is a band, to actually be interviewed as well. But what I'd want to do is I want to be getting some of the behind the scenes, what you stand for and who you are in a 1 to 5 minute video. All right, on to day 4. Now, on day 4, we're going to concentrate a little bit on playlists. Now, the reason for this is because your music or your single isn't actually being released for another week. And if you want to submit your music or your single for the Spotify playlists, you need at least a week to do it. So I've picked today. You could probably do it a little bit earlier, but I've picked today. Now, this isn't about just lots and lots of playlists, although we can do that. And rather than going into a lot of detail on playlists, I am going to make a video specifically about getting your music onto playlists. I'm going to do that within the next week or so. So if you want to see that, you need to like, but you more importantly need to subscribe and come back for that video. And there's going to be a lot more information about how to get your music onto playlists. But at this moment in time, if you want to get it onto Spotify curated playlists, then you have to submit your music to Spotify. There's a bunch of other things that you can do. That is today. A couple of other tips that you can do is you need to start getting your followers to actually follow you on Spotify. Spotify is like any other bit of social media. It's got an algorithm, therefore it's looking to see what's happening. It's looking to see you take it seriously, as well as going to other Spotify curators and asking them if they will play your track on their playlist. This is about you taking Spotify seriously, just the same as you would on YouTube or on Instagram or anything else. But today is the day of playlists, and this is where you are going to submit your music for Spotify curated playlists. On to day 5. We are now 5 days away from your release date. So now we are going to ramp up the excitement. Now, the way we're going to do that is we are going to have the full artwork release. So, artwork release. So whilst you're telling everybody and you're saying, hey guys, we've got this date, something's happening, and everyone's getting a bit excited, this is the point where you're going to start to release the artwork. Now, this is again going back to day 2 where you made your banners. This could be a time where you could also change some of the banners. So as well as having the date on there, it could potentially also have the full artwork displayed onto banners, but this is where you're going to release it. So what I mean by this is going to be in your Instagram feed, it's going to be in your Instagram story, it's going to be across your Facebook, it's going to be across all your banners. Now, what tends to happen is people tend to post stuff on their Instagram and just leave it there, but you've got to think about how this fits into context, so how people are watching things. So a lot of big artists, when they release their artwork, will release it 3 times in the same day because they want people to have seen it and they want them to come back and see it and they want them to come back and see it again. You'll see this quite regularly. And then they will sporadically start throwing it in over the next few days, even though that single or that album hasn't been released. So what I would say is I would release the artwork 3 times on Instagram on your feed, and I do it in the morning, in the afternoon and the evening, partially because there's different time zones, but partially because it starts to go in. We have to get away from this idea that we're going to show someone or ask someone or tell someone one time and expect them to do what we want. It doesn't work. I know it's a lovely idea, we don't want to bug people, but we do have to start smashing people in the face with what we're doing and saying, this is what I need you to do. And that's what this is about. So I want you, when you're releasing your artwork, I want you to make a big deal. I want it to be all over your stories. I want it to be Instagram feed at least 3 times that day and a couple of times in the next couple of days leading up to it. Okay, day 6, press release day. Now then, some of you may have PR companies who are helping you with this, but I'm assuming that most of you don't. And so therefore, your job is, or this is your job. So for today, we are going to start thinking about where you are at and who you can approach to start getting some media attention. Now, media attention will be in the form for you guys of radio, it will be in the form of newspapers, it will be in the form of magazines, and it will be also in the form of blogs, potentially vlogs. But with those things in mind, you get to pitch to the magazine, newspaper, and radio station which fits into your experience. Now, if you are an upcoming band, for me, the best place to start is your local radio station because they are looking for things to play. You should be approaching your local newspaper because they are looking for feel-good stories. There's probably small magazines in and around your area, and then when it comes to blogs, it needs to be genre specific. So if you're an extreme metal band, you're going and looking for some extreme metal blogs. And this is the point where rather than just approaching them and going, "Oh mate, I've got a single, would you mind just sticking it out?" This is the point where you're going to make an actual physical press release, which is going to have all of the details. And again, it has the story, which we know that we've made a couple of days before, which is going to help you. It's going to have the story, it's going to have the information about the release, it's going to have the artwork, and it's going to have any other information that you think is important for that radio DJ, for that plugger, for that blogger, in order to get this out, for that journalist on the newspaper. And I promise you, I've been a radio DJ where I had to make 4 hours worth of music every single night, and it is really, really tough. So when someone says, "Do you want to play this, or do you want to have us come on for a radio interview?" a lot of the time you just think, yes, I really, really do, because what I don't want to happen is be sit there with nothing to say, nothing to do, just playing music. So it definitely helps. Today, press release day. On to day 7. Day 7, day 7's a big one. Now, day 7 is ad strategy. Ugh, yes, I know, strategy. So this all depends how much budget you've got, but I would say that going back to your day 1 where it comes to your targets, you should put in to your cash flow what you've got to spend, how much money you've got to spend. You've spent so much time and so much energy and effort and money making this single and getting it out there. So in which case, we need to actually get it out there as much as possible, and in today's social media, a little bit of money really helps. It does go a long way. Now, it could be as simple as starting to boost some of your posts, but I think you should actually look at a little bit of experience and experimenting with some ads on Facebook and Instagram. So rather than just boosting the posts, to actually make a piece of content and going into Facebook and Instagram and actually making an Instagram or Facebook ad. It is easier than you think it is. The main thing is getting that call to action and telling people who you are, what you're doing, and what's happening. And a big part of advertising now is actually advertising to your own audience. I have 20-odd thousand people on Facebook and 60,000 people on YouTube. I know they're not seeing a lot of my content because I've been lost in the algorithm. So if I want to get them back in the game, if I want to get them back into going, oh yeah, I remember that guy, I quite like that guy, I want to go and watch more of his content, I want to go and listen to more of his stuff, then I'm the one who has to push it back in front of people. Now, if I can make some absolutely cracking piece of content, like this one, then, and you guys hit the like button, then maybe more people will see my content. But if not, then I have to put a little bit of money into it and start to boost it. And that's what today is about. So how much would you put in? I would recommend if you could put in a $5 or a $10 a day. If there's a couple of people in the band, you could split it, but a $5 a day, you're talking like, you're talking kind of like a Starbucks coffee or ish. So that amount of money per day will make a difference. Now it's up to you to be able to get your demographic right, but this is the day to do that. Now, if you don't know how to do this, there are a million videos. I will be making some more videos on how to actually promote a single or an album using Facebook ads. But I promise you, this does work. But what you've got to do is you've got to make it really, really clear of what you want people to do when you are advertising. So rather than saying, this is who we are, or what most people do is they'll make a video of them playing and they'll just boost it for a $10. What does that mean? You're going to get a load of likes, fantastic, but no one really knows what's going on. Your job is to say, this is who we are, we've got a new single coming out, and this is what we need you to do next. And then you're advertising that to the right demographic. If you do that, people will actually understand what it is that they're supposed to do and are more likely to not only come on your journey with you, but probably, weirdly enough, do the thing that you want them to do. Day 8, and now we are just a couple of days away from the big single release. Now, how about this? What about Influencer Day? Now, Influencer Day. Now, I know what you're thinking, influencers sounds all big and it sounds very expensive, but it's not. Influencers can be people within your network, it can be other musicians, other bands, people that you know of, even people that like what you do, that you can actually start to ask a favor, maybe bung them a bit of money, but probably it's going to be do you a favor. Look, do this for me, and then on your release, I'll do it for you back again. This is about how we spread the word. Now, what I think you should do in Influencer Day is I think you should get people talking about it. So with the book, for example, with this book, I wanted there to be on the actual day of release, I wanted people to go, that keeps popping up. This book keeps popping up all of the time. And it was strategic. It wasn't that the book was popping up. It was I was making the book pop up. I was getting people to go, oh, I've just heard about this new book, or I'm going to go and get the book. Or maybe it was just, oh, Damian sent me the book. It was a way of getting this in front of as many eyeballs as possible. And the way you start by doing that is you just ask. You go and find people who've got semi-decent numbers, even if they don't, and you just say, look, can you do me a favor? On the release day, would you mind posting that we've got a new single out? Or would you mind posting about the band, or that you're listening to it in a car? Because that could be as simple as that. They're driving in the car, listening to your new song, and they make a story, and it just says, oh great, the new single from your band has come out, I'm just listening to it, absolute cracking, tag you in it. Those things make a huge difference, because then you're reposting them on your story. It makes it look busy. It makes it look like other people are really into your music. And all of a sudden, you've got that social proofing and social currency where everything starts to fit together. And it's not luck. It's not you putting it out there and hoping that someone's going to do this. It's a couple of days before saying, I need a favor from you. I need you to listen to it in the car, listen to it in the house, maybe do a lip sync, do something funny with it in order for more people to see it, so that other people go, oh yeah, I keep hearing that song, and it keeps going in, because that's what we want. What we don't want to do is go, I've put the new song, it's out there, cheers, on to the next one. We've got to keep it going and going and going. And now we are literally 2 days away from releasing. So on to day 9. Now then, day 9 is preparation. Day 9 is effectively organization. So I've called this prepare for launch. Prepare for launch. It's tomorrow. This is where we have to actually say, hang on, before we actually start doing all this marketing, this is the time where we get everyone together, friends, family, boyfriends, girlfriends, the band members, anyone that we can do, and we get them together and we say, these are the jobs that need to get done and these are the targets that we have got. We need you to do this tomorrow because tomorrow is going to be our big day of that launch. And today, this is a bigger job than you think. So everyone's got their to-do list. Everyone's got their schedule of things that they need to do. And so that way, it's about basically whipping up this momentum to say it's happening tomorrow. And then on that day, everyone goes, God, this is everywhere. This is all over the place. I keep hearing this song. And if you've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people all going at it at the same time, you are going to get a much more momentum. So this is about, with all the targets you've set, all the deadlines you've set, this is about getting your team together, making sure they're organized, making sure that you know where you're going to work from, who's doing what, you're not doubling up on certain things, and people have got targets as well. That is today, because tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow is where we go live. Oh look, it's tomorrow. It is now day 10. What are we gonna do? Launch. Okay, so with launch, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna actually do things, because this isn't a case of just putting out there and hoping for the best. There is a load of things that we can do, which I'm gonna now scribble onto this. Okay, so we've got our big launch. There's a lot to do today, but hopefully you've got your team in place. So the first thing that we're going to need to do is check the song is live, because otherwise you've got no song to promote. But right now, we need to make sure that we're checking that. The next thing we're going to have to go live is the lyric video. So on the lyric video, now this is quite important. A lyric video, I never used to be a big fan of lyric videos, but I see more and more major artists using this on the actual release day. So instead of actually pushing everything together and say, yep, we've released our new song and here's the video and here's everything else, right, it's gone and we have nothing to move on to, what they've started doing is they've started realizing that content is everything. So now they're starting to actually drip feed everything and say, yes, you've got the song, but tomorrow I need to come back and energize you one more time. And the day after that, I'm going to need to come back and energize you one more time. So now, rather than giving two things away, they've split it and said, yes, you can have the song, but tomorrow is where we have the video. So the first bit is the lyric video, and that comes out on the launch date. So people have got something to watch on YouTube, on Instagram. You've got stuff to promote with your content, but the song is going across to Spotify, or if it's going to be sold as CDs, that's the bit where you've got the song without blowing your load. Now, getting a lyric video is pretty easy, but if you can't do it yourself, you can go on fiverr.com and you can pay someone a couple of quid and they'll do it for you. You can give them the artwork, you can give them the brand, and they'll sort that stuff out. Other things that you can do, because there's so many things that you can do, but a big one, in fact, what I would say is the biggest one, is the one-to-one. This is the ask. Rather than saying, guys, this is where everyone goes wrong. Guys, singles out, go and do the thing I want you to do. You say, no, this is going to take hours. And we've got a whole team of people that are going to get on Instagram, going to get on Facebook and start messaging people. Guys, rather than guys, sorry, James, the single is out, I need you to go and buy it. Or James, the single's on Spotify, I need you to go and listen to it. I need you to listen to it a couple of times. I need to go and tell your friends. I need you to go and promote it on your Instagram. This is the one-to-one ask. If I see something on Facebook and it says singles out, I'll be like, great. If someone says, Damian, can you do me a favor? Can you just click this link for me and listen to the song? Absolutely, because it's directly to me. That is hustle, it takes time. That's the bit that you need to do with your one-to-ones. The next thing is you've got to update. You've got to update all your banners. So updating your banners, you've also got to update your e-signature, you've got to update your links. And I don't just mean the band's social media, I mean everyone's social media. Everything is now pointing. This brand is going across all of your banners, but you are updating everything and you're saying, this is out today, but also this is what I need you to do. Go here, do this. That goes on all of your banners for all of your social media. The next thing, you talk to your influencers, the people that you've been leading up to. Influencers, how do you spell that? So your influencers, you just drop in that message. You just say, today's the day. Can you do the thing that we talked about a few days back? Can you listen to the track? Can you push it out? Can you send some pictures? Can you just put the fact that it's the artwork on your Instagram feed? And that's the point point where everyone needs to bring it together. So again, people are going, oh, I keep seeing that again and again and again. Other things you can do. Oh, I want to do a competition. Now, competition launch is quite important right now. And the reason for that is because the competition is going to set up the next 10 days. Like we did on day one, we made 10 pictures, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all with the day. What we're doing now is we're making a competition to set up what we can do for the next 7 days. Now, this is up to you, but I would recommend setting a competition which says every single day we will do this, or we will give this prize to someone who promotes our single. So effectively, what you're saying is, every day I've got content to push out from you guys, but I need your help. This is about everyone helping together and not just you saying, oh, by the way, buy this, by the way, listen to that. This is you saying, everyone, we're in this together, but I'm gonna add in some incentive, and that incentive is, if you're sharing the stuff, if you're pushing it, one of you's gonna get a win. Now that win needs to be bigger than a hug. It needs to be bigger than you get a free copy of the single, which is free. It needs to be something good. So why not really reward the people who are rewarding you right now? Give away a VIP tickets to the next gig. So instead of just being come down and watch the gig for free, it's you hang out with the band all day. You're part of the sound check. You get to chill out backstage in the VIP area in the green room. All of these things that you just make it so it's better than just giving away next to nothing and asking them a favor. You're saying, I'm rewarding you. I'm giving it back. The next day it might be, we're going to give away that you get to be in the next band photo shoot, or you get to be in the next band video, or you get to be in the next studio recording for the day that we're recording our next single. You're giving away really, really good stuff. And it also gives you more stuff to go into your socials over the next 7 days, which you do need. You need that content. The next thing you're gonna do is DJs. So this is the point where you do your DJs. So radio is so crucial, especially in the local scene. And DJs do want to be a part. When a band releases something and says, we'd really love you to be a part of it, having been a radio DJ, I like that. I really wanted to be a part of the local scene. And so when bands said, look, we're releasing this single, here it is, or would you mind playing it? I'd usually be up for it, because that's my job, playing music. But other things then, you've got the usual things, friends, family, everybody is now involved in this. Mum, share this on your Instagram. In fact, give me your phone, I'll do it myself, I'll share it on Instagram. Give me your Facebook, I'm just gonna share this, I'm gonna do it myself. Can you do me a favor? Talk to Nana, get her to share it as well. Everyone needs to get out and say, this is what we need you to do. Safety in numbers, effectively. So you can see on the day, what you're doing is you have this barrage of everything everywhere with as many people as possible. But it doesn't stop there. There's a million other things that you can do, but there's a million other things you can do on that day. So day 11, now we are moving on to the official video. So on the official video, we've made the lyric video, but we've now got that excitement again. Hey guys, guess what? We've got a new video out. Instead of just blowing our load yesterday, we've now saved it. We've now got the official video out. Who wants to go and see it? And now we're starting to push that on the Instagram, on whatever, TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube especially. You're giving people another batch of excitement. As a DJ, I always found this. People would give me 12 songs, and then, you know, the people who gave me a single were the ones who wins, because when they gave me a single and they gave me a second single a month later, I was excited all over again 1 month later, instead of waiting for the next year until the next album. So what we're doing is the same thing. We're saying you've had the lyric video, but what about our official video? All of the things that we just started to talk about, we can now do around this official video. And don't forget, we've got the competition from yesterday. We've also can start doing another photo shoot, which is probably about the time. So I'm going to add that in here. Another photo shoot. Now in this photo shoot, what we're going to do is we're going to do something slightly different. Instead of doing that lead up to what it is, you're going to start promoting the new single with, you know, whatever you want it to be, holding up banners, it can be with the artwork in it, but I want a new fresh batch of photos to keep you excited and keep everyone else excited. Official video shoot, new photo shoot, so we can do the next 10 days of pushing stuff out on social media. Day 12. Day 12, right, going. Now this is something really important. We're doing a performance video. Now, you will notice over the next couple of days we are doing videos. This is the biggest thing I have noticed from big artists, major artists and major labels over the last couple of months, which is video every single day, especially on YouTube, as macro content, which gets broken down into everything else. So if you look at the top 3 tracks which are in the world right now, which I think is Dance Monkey or Monkey Dance and Yummy by Justin Bieber and The Box. Those are the 3 tracks which are globally number 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. All did exactly the same thing. They came out with the lyric video, the official video, and then they had a barrage of other videos every single day, so they've got content for their YouTube so they could break it down into the rest of the platforms. And what it does is it keeps ramming that home. It keeps ramming the song home so that you're not sitting there going, what should we do today? So this one, we're going to do a performance video. It can be recorded weeks ago, or it can be on the day, but this is going to be a video of you performing that track live, which then you can break down for parts for all of the rest of your social media, and you can start asking all of your audience, all of your fans to start to share that, start engage with that, start to get involved in that again. All right, day 13. Now we are well underway. Our single's coming out. Hopefully we're starting to hit the targets that we want. But why stop there? Why stop at a point where you go, right, I've done that, what's next? Oh, let's record another song, which is what everyone does. Let's start writing and recording again. No, if we're going to do this one single every month strategy, let's take up some time of that month, getting your stuff out there, keeping the momentum going, keeping the energy going. So again, going back to the macro content, which is the video on YouTube, so that we can start to break it down, I would suggest another video. Now, this is a choice up to you, but this is what I noticed from the major artists who all do this. They either do a fan video or they do a animated video, an animation video. Now, obviously animation can get quite expensive, so this is where it's up to you what you do. But a fan video could be fans reacting to your track. It could be your audience lip syncing to your track, or it could be just fans just enjoying your track. They're just being a part of it, listening to it. It's just on it, and you're just cutting it in like a video with just lots of happy people that are doing it. Or it could be a full-on animated video of your single. But in doing this, you again have more content to start breaking down. This is something that I really see all of the time from major labels and major artists as they try and build more content and more traction, and they keep saying to people again, and I know people are going, if you go and listen to, Justin Bieber just released Yummy, and obviously it's just gone crazy global, but look what Scooter Braun's doing. He's going, no, I'm not just going to put it out there and just leave it on a shelf. I'm going to ram this down your throat. And certain people go, oh, stop with the promo. But most of his fans don't. Most of his fans are loving it. Most of his fans are loving life, and lots of people aren't even seeing half of it, so they're joining in certain bits and going, oh, that's quite cool. So again, this is about taking something and not letting it rest. You've got targets to hit. You've got to build this momentum so that the next single is going to be even bigger. So this is day 13, the next video which goes onto YouTube, which you break that down. Okay, so day 14. One more video, another video, but this one's going to be slightly different. How about this for an idea? I love this video. A cover song. No, not you doing a cover of someone else's song, but someone that you know doing a cover of your song. How cool would that be if you can go to one of the other bands in the community or in the area and say, hey, I want you to do a cover of a song. It can be live, it can be recorded, whatever it is, but imagine if you could do that and say, if you do that, I'll post your video on our YouTube. So you're getting traction, I'm getting traction. That's a collab, that's huge. And that would be such a great idea for then other fan bases to start going, I wasn't really a massive fan of that band, but I love this band and they've got involved, and all of a sudden I'm much more of a fan now. That's what collabs are about, and they're the fastest way of growing an audience. So today, why not approach friends band, someone in the community, and say, I've got a proposal for you. You do this and we will promote you. Everyone's a winner. And if you want us to, we'll do the same thing when you release your next single. Day 15, how's this for an idea? This one I nicked off Dan and Shay. So on their Instagram, once they released their 10,000 hours track, they made a breakdown video, which was a 1-minute video where instead of just saying, here's the song again, the video started, it's an animated video, it started where they took the production stems of the music and they broke it down, started off with vocals, and then they started to add things in. So it went vocals, then they added some keyboards or some guitars, then some bass, then some drums, so that you could actually see how it was made, which I thought was absolutely brilliant, and it showed off how great the vocal track was. It got to the end of that bit and then it counted it back down again, so that you went vocals up to drums and then drums, breaking it down into vocals. And it was just 1 minute piece of content, which I thought was absolutely brilliant. They've done the work, they've made the track, it's all there. Why not do that? Why not add in a piece of content showing off some of the cool bits? It doesn't necessarily need to be in that order. It could just be showing off guitar and vocals, or it could be showing off just the drums building into the vocals. But what you're doing is you're just allowing yourself another reason to make content, another way of pushing stuff out there. So I'm going to call that one the production breakdown, which I thought was just a sick way of making content, because as a musician I thought it was really cool as well to hear the vocals on their own, to hear some guitar on its own, and just to see how they build up a track and bring it back down again. Day 16, hopefully we are smashing it by this point, but day 16, the trusty behind the scenes. So if you're going to make a video, obviously we want to try and put some new stuff in. What about the behind the scenes video? Maybe it was behind the scenes we're in the studio. Maybe it was behind the scenes of the band over the last couple of months with the writing process. Maybe it's got some interviews in there. But why not we say, like we did at the beginning, here's the story so far, and then we're going to release something. Now, why don't we say, hey, here's stuff that you don't see. You've seen the story so far, you've seen what we're doing at the moment, but now here's some stuff that the fans want to see. Now, this could be anything from a 1 minute Instagram feed through to a 10, 20-minute documentary. This is a way that you can say, hey, let us bring you into our world. And of course, whilst you're doing it, you are ramming that single home. Hey, so over the last couple of months, we've been writing and recording. We've just released our new song, which is this. And we wanted to take you into our world and behind the scenes. So here's a little view into our world. Hope you like it. Bang! From that macro content, you break that down into micro content. You keep pushing. By the way, if you want to listen to our new song, it's here. We need to go and buy it here. This is what we need you to do next. Day 17. Now, this is something that happened to me once and it blew my mind. I'm going to call this Target the DJ. Right, so I had a radio show. It was called the Damo and Ace Show. It was a friend of mine called Ace, who's in a band called Skunk Anansi, and we had a radio show. And every night, 4 nights a week, a couple of hours a night, we used to have this radio show where we'd play unsigned acts, bands from the area. We'd bring them on and interview them. There was this, I'll never forget it. There was this band, and they were from Australia, and they come across, they were in the area. And when you're a radio DJ, you have screens in front of you where you're basically playing adverts and playing the tracks. And you're also getting your emails. So when email gets sent through, it pops up. So someone says, hi, I'm listening from so-and-so. It pops up right in front of you. And all of a sudden, the screen went crazy. It was people just going, why aren't you playing the new track from this band? It's been released and you're not playing it. And in my head, I was like, well, I don't know who they are. I've never heard it. But then the next one and the next one and the next one. And I was like, all right. Now, the reason why I gave in to peer pressure is because as a radio DJ, I live and die by people listening to my show. And I want people to listen to my show in the future. So when this happens, and I know I've got people's attention, I've got a story, but I've also got a way of keeping these people involved in the show over the next couple of days, weeks, months, and years. And so I got targeted probably 40 or 50 times, which I have to say, during the space of an hour is a lot when you're trying to sort emails and sort everything else out. And you start panicking. I don't want these 50 people to not listen to the show. So you say, good, I'm going to take them along with me on the journey. Most DJs will think the same thing. So target the DJ. Day 17, you go and find that radio DJ who's in the area that promotes more of the local stuff. I'm not talking about Radio 1 unless you've got a pretty big audience, but you go and find that radio DJ and you start spamming him live. Go and do this. And it might not work, but it happened to me and it worked a wonder, because I played that track probably 20 times in the next month because I wanted that audience to carry on listening. Day 18. We're almost coming to the end. Day 18 is your pop-up gig. So we might have had a launch party. I haven't put it in here. It's up to you whether you want to have a launch party. I did for my first book, didn't for my second book. Pop-up gig. But why not turn up somewhere and do a gig? On that pop-up gig, you are going to perform potentially at someone's house, maybe a fan's house. It could be part of the competition. It could be on the street. It could be busking. It could be Rage Against the Machine outside of all of the financial buildings. But you're going to do a pop-up gig. You're going to try and make a bit of noise, metaphorically as opposed to physically, but you're going to try and make some noise on social media, which you can then take into the last couple of days. With a pop-up gig, all you're going to need potentially maybe vocals and guitar, or it might be a full band. That's up to you. But why not figure out how you can turn up somewhere and do a gig which hasn't been promoted, which you can then get on yours and everyone else's social media. Day 19. Following on from day 18, you are going to now start promoting that pop-up gig. So effectively, pop-up gig part 2. So what you're doing now is you're saying, yesterday we did a pop-up gig. You're finding ways to tell that story and push that out on your socials. Again, whenever you're doing this, everything revolves around that new song. So when you're promoting it, what are you promoting from the gig? Your new single. What are you doing? You're going to get a couple of people singing along to that new single on camera. So these pop-up gigs, again, they're not just for the sake of it, they are there to promote you and that new single. And day 20, the last day, this is very, very important. This day is about thank yous. You will be shocked at how much extra momentum you'll get on this last day. You'll see on launch day, it goes up and it goes crazy and then it starts to come down and you keep pushing and pushing and pushing. This is the day where it all spikes again, because all of a sudden, when you genuinely, hand on heart, start messaging people in a really nice way and saying, look, I really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing this. You know, we're going to do more of these. I just really appreciate what you've done for us. And you do it in a one-to-one way, potentially even buy them a little box of chocolates or something. Everybody goes, look what they did, look what they sent. And then they start retweeting what you did. They start reusing that content on their own socials. They start reposting that on their own Instagram, on their own Facebook. And all of a sudden you see this spike again as people start pushing. I did this thing, I was just listening to their new single. There it is again, the new single. And they said this really nice thank you. What a lovely bunch of people. And again, that becomes the legacy around that. And day 20 is so important. So effectively, before you go into day 21, which is, oh God, what are we going to do next? This is the big finish, the big finale. Give people the legacy. You've worked on this for 20 days, as have a lot of people with you. Give them one last reason to start posting that using social currency, saying, yeah, they thanked me personally, or they gave me this box of chocolates, or they did this for me, and let them do the work for you one more time. So guys, firstly, if you have a single coming up and that's why you're watching this video, then good luck, and also send me a link because I would love to hear it. But that is how you can promote your single in 20 days. But what else you got? I mean, that's a bunch of ideas. I've knocked that up. I think it will help you to start getting past how much that you need to do rather than going into something blind, because the worst thing that happens, that you see all the time, is bands going into something blind, releasing something, getting lost after a day because there's either too much to do or because they've run out of ideas, and then all of a sudden on to the next one. So tell me your ideas. If you've got any ideas for what you think should happen for releasing a single, then I want to hear it down below. Or stories that you've got from when you did release a single that I can maybe put into how to promote a single in 2021, because obviously that's going to happen. But thanks for watching. If you can do me a massive favor, I've got a few ideas that have stemmed from this, including Spotify playlists, how to actually build your numbers and take Spotify more seriously. So if you want to see them, then you're going to need to subscribe. But if you can do me a favor, if you can like this video, because it really does help the algorithm. More importantly, come and be a part of this community, because we're doing this every day and I'm really proud of the results that you guys are getting and I'm seeing. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys tomorrow.